Donald Trump's health is deteriorating. That's not a partisan insult, not hyperbole. It's an observation backed by a growing number of data points that together form a troubling picture. And the question on the table is this: is Melania Trump quietly serving as Donald Trump's personal caretaker right now? Before you roll your eyes and ask, caretaker? Really? Let's go through the evidence, piece by piece, and see if the math adds up. Start with the basics. Trump, by his own admission and by the accounts of those around him, is struggling physically and mentally. He appears confused, disoriented at public events, and often needs prompting to answer even the simplest of questions. And right at his side, far more than she used to be, is Melania. The same Melania who for years avoided the spotlight, avoided rallies, avoided the day-to-day circus. Suddenly she's there, more frequently, filling gaps, clarifying questions, and playing a role that looks suspiciously like a caretaker. Take one telling incident. You might remember that video, the one where garbage bags appear to be thrown out of a White House window. Trump immediately dismissed it as AI. He said it was impossible, that the windows couldn't open, that it was fake. But in his own denial, he slipped. He revealed that Melania had recently complained she wanted to open a window to get fresh air. Think about that. In the middle of denying a video, he admits that Melania wanted to open the sealed windows because she and Donald needed fresh air. That's not a casual remark. That's a glimpse into a household dynamic, one where she's paying attention to his surroundings, his needs, his health. That's what caretakers do. And keep in mind, Melania is also the person Trump now associates with his new AI initiatives. He calls her his AI person. Whenever Trump is cornered, whenever he needs to dismiss something, he blames it on AI. And who does he point to? Melania. She is suddenly positioned as the one running his AI efforts, leading initiatives, giving speeches about technology in the future. Why her? Why now? Is it because she's actually an expert, or because she's stepping in, filling gaps that he can't fill anymore? Let's pull back to another data point. Donald Trump was supposed to be in Paris with Zelensky, with Macron, with other world leaders. That's what the schedule indicated. But he didn't attend. Not in person, not virtually, not at all. Instead, Steve Witkoff was sent in his place, and Witkoff left after only 20 minutes. Trump? He skipped it. What did he do instead? He showed up at a dinner with tech CEOs, Zuckerberg and the rest of Silicon Valley's AI crowd. And what happened there? Trump couldn't answer a basic question about whether he planned to speak with Vladimir Putin. He was visibly lost. Who leaned over and helped him understand the question? Melania. She clarified it for him. They're asking if you will speak with Putin. She became his translator, his hearing aid, his interpreter in real time. That's not just a spouse making conversation. That's caretaker behavior. We've seen this before. Trump asking, "Where's Stubat?" while the president of Finland stood right across from him. Trump searching for a congressman who was literally right next to him. Disorientation, confusion, a man who doesn't know where he is. And then Melania stepping in to bridge the gap, to whisper the missing piece, to keep him afloat. Add that to the caretaker file. Now here's where it gets even more striking. Foreign leaders themselves have started referencing Melania to Trump directly. When Putin spoke with Trump around May 19, 2025, he repeatedly mentioned Melania. He said, "We really respect your wife. We want to hear more from Melania." He mentioned her over and over. Now, part of that may be trolling. Russian media likes to mock Trump by resurfacing Melania's nude photos. But another part of it? Likely intelligence, likely an awareness that she is increasingly the gatekeeper, the caretaker, the one handling Trump's decline. Trump even joked about it himself. He said, "Putin said they respect your wife a lot." I said, "What about me? They like Melania better." He tried to laugh it off, but jokes like that often reveal truths. If even Putin is saying it, there's something there. And it's not just Putin, Zelensky too. He thanked Melania directly for writing a letter to Putin about children. Not Trump, Melania. Zelensky said his wife, the First Lady of Ukraine, handed the letter to Putin on behalf of Melania Trump. Again, Melania is the one being invoked. Melania is the one being addressed. Over and over again, she's at the center. And why? Because she's now functioning as Donald's proxy, his caretaker, his bridge to the outside world. Meanwhile, Trump's loyalists are going into overdrive to elevate Melania. Energy Secretary Chris Wright went on television to declare Melania the wisest person. He said she was smarter than all of them, wiser than the cabinet, deserving of a Nobel Peace Prize. Think about how absurd that is. The U.S. Secretary of Energy, who should be focused on nuclear safety, grid security, clean energy, is instead praising Melania as a genius and pushing for her Nobel nomination. Why? Because it reinforces the narrative that she is the steady man, the caretaker, the person holding things together while Donald rots away. And Melania herself? She has leaned into this new role. She delivered a speech launching the president's National Artificial Intelligence Challenge, inviting kids from kindergarten through high school to engage with AI. Her delivery was polished, but it raised eyebrows. Was this really her vision? Or was she simply fronting a program because Donald couldn't handle it? Regardless, the message was clear. She was stepping up, taking the microphone, being presented as a leader. Later, at another event, she declared, "The robots are here. Our future is no longer science fiction." Her accent turned robots into robots, but the symbolism was unavoidable. Melania was talking about the future, about technology, while her husband fumbled with basic geography and names. The juxtaposition couldn't be sharper. And the praise didn't stop. MAGA Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna floated the idea that both Donald and Melania should be nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. Not just Donald and Melania. She suggested they could be the first couple to win it jointly. The spin is obvious. Position Melania not just as a spouse, not just as a first lady, but as a co-leader, a caretaker who deserves equal credit. It's propaganda with a purpose. The spin extended to fake magazine covers too. Influencers circulated a doctored Vanity Fair cover featuring Melania as the American Queen. Her team tried to suggest she'd turned down a Vanity Fair profile. In reality, Vanity Fair had no interest. But the narrative was pushed. Melania as queen, Melania as silent revolutionary. Even Governor Gavin Newsom mocked it, parodying the fake cover with one of himself. Still, the propaganda circulated, reinforcing the same theme. Now let's recall Melania's past. Her immigration history has always been murky. She claimed she graduated from a college. She didn't. She worked at modeling agencies tied to clubs where wealthy men met young Eastern European women. That's how she met Trump. She received an Einstein visa designed for individuals of extraordinary ability, though she hardly qualified. Trump once promised she'd hold a press conference to explain everything. She never did. Instead, she spent years selling trinkets, Swarovski ornaments, Merry Christmas decorations, books, $500 novelty gold bills. She's monetized her name while dodging questions. But now suddenly she's thrust back into the spotlight, packaged as caretaker, genius, peacemaker. Back to the garbage bag video. Trump insists it's fake, AI-generated, impossible. But listen closely to his own words. He says Melania recently wanted to open a window for fresh air, but couldn't because they were sealed. Why emphasize her request? Why share that detail? Was it just a throwaway line? Or does it reveal something deeper, like a household trying to cope with his decline, his odor, his rotting presence, resorting to tossing bags out the window instead of through normal channels? It's speculative, yes, but Trump's own words invite the question. And notice Trump's fallback. Blame AI. Whenever something embarrassing surfaces, it's AI. Garbage bags? AI. Phony clips? AI. Anything inconvenient? AI. And then, conveniently, Melania is his AI person. She's the one tasked with leading the AI initiative. Do you see the circle closing? His cover stories and her new role merge seamlessly into one narrative. The caretaker protects, deflects, explains, fills in the blanks. All of this paints a portrait. Trump is diminished, confused, absent, rotting. Melania is elevated, present, praised, packaged as wise, noble, visionary. The insiders know it, the foreign leaders sense it, the sycophants sell it, and the propaganda machine churns it out. So, is Melania Trump Donald Trump's caretaker right now? The evidence suggests she is. Not officially, not medically, but functionally. She whispers answers in his ear. She translates questions. She writes, or at least signs, letters to foreign leaders. She speaks in his place. She leads his initiatives. She takes the spotlight he can't handle. She deflects, she protects, she props him up. That's the very definition of a caretaker. And as she does, the MAGA world rallies to crown her queen, genius, Nobel laureate. Because they know that without her, Donald is exposed, weak, lost, incapable. With her, they can keep the illusion alive a little longer. So, when you put the pieces together, the garbage bags, the skipped meetings, the whispered answers, the foreign praise, the AI speeches, the propaganda covers, it all points in one direction. The former First Lady, reluctant for years, has been forced into a role she never asked for. Caretaker of a crumbling man and a crumbling movement. And while Trump's health may be deteriorating, Melania is being built up as the scaffolding holding up the facade. The question now isn't whether she's his caretaker. It's how much longer she can keep playing the role before the facade itself collapses.